Gold got a nice bump on Friday following the jobs report, and Frank Holmes, the CEO and CIO of U.S. Global Investors, he's here with us also. Dennis Gartman, founder and editor of the Gartman Letter, and Jerry Baker's here as well. You're in charge of all the editors at the Journal. Like there's a chief. You're editor-in-chief.
Yes, I'm editor-in-chief.
God, I love that. Frank.
Just call me chief.
Yeah, okay. In general, I've known you a long time. You just love gold. You have never really thought that gold should not be in a portfolio, right?
I've always advocated that a 5% gold jewelry or bullion and a 5% in gold stocks, and you rebalance each year. I've never advocated that you go and the world's coming to an end. You don't buy gold betting on losing. The market's going to fall apart. You bet on winning.
Why the physical 5% versus the 5% in the portfolio?
Because gold jewelry is a real key factor. I've called it the love trade. And 60% of all gold demand is coming out of Asia. And it's important to recognize that that's where the GDP has been growing.
Because they wear it.
They wear it.
Why is it any different than anything else, though? If you bought it in the last 2 years, you feel silly. You feel stupid. If you bought it before then, you feel good. It goes up, it goes down. Why? I don't know why the asset class stature.
I think the
only reason I own it is if you got to bribe your way out of a country or if you got to buy a gun or something.
No, because you can look beautiful and your wife is going to be spectacularly happy with it. You just bought her a gorgeous gift.
Well, now you're appealing to a different thing. Yeah.
I'm dealing with 60% of the world's global demand, and we're seeing gold, big bricks, going to Switzerland, being melted down to smaller coins and wafers, and going into China and being totally absorbed. To something like 200 tons this year have already gone into China.
You can make the same argument about fur coats. Buy one for your wife.
No, it's not sustainable. Gold lives forever. It's malleable like love.
Furs dry out, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some people have ethical considerations about fur coats too, to be fair.
That's
unlike
true.
gold.
It's not a big problem in Eastern Europe or Asia.
I noticed that. Or the United States.
It's also good for all seasons. Yeah. Fur coats are only good for one season.
Frank, this is weird because you've sort of, most gold guys do not use the jewelry. They don't think gold needs a usage to be valuable. They think that it has this inherent value.
It's a currency.
Right.
It's a currency.
Well, that's
Are you changing your tune?
Look at the buttons on his blazer.
The button?
Yeah.
How British. Please. I think the important part is to take a look at the fear trade dominates the psychic over here and in Europe. And anytime there's an imbalance with government policies, fiscal monetary policies, and in particular negative real interest rates, we get gold rising.
Would you say that it went to 2000 based on the world's printing of money over the last 5 years? Is that why it got there? Then it stopped going up once it became clear that there was an inflection point coming where they'd stop printing. Is that what happened?
I think there's a combination at that period, at that point, of the currency being devalued, of the debt ceiling battle in America, and you had the beginning of Ramadan, which is the first major religious holiday of the season over any cycle period of 35 years of data. Gold always starts to rally and bottoms in the summer and goes to Chinese New Year. So you had the beginning of this season, all this battling took place in the summer, and gold ran up 2 standard deviations, which is 30% over 12 months. It was due for a correction. Yeah. I think I was on your program, so it was due for a correction.
But even, I guess we really don't believe World War III is a possibility. We'll never respond militarily to Russia. So gold has just been dead in the water. He invaded a country. He's like taking territory. He might take more. But it didn't go anywhere.
More important is this time last year.
We've got red lines all over the place. I guess
this time last year, there's a 5-year government bonds had a negative 50 basis points yield. By December, it was plus 50 basis points. Gold had fallen from $1,600 down to $1,100.
Right.
And all of a sudden now we're at a negative real interest rates again. CRB index looks like it's breaking out, and gold has rallied. It was up 20%, now it's up 15% since the lows of December. It's really important when you look at the fear trade, are negative interest rates. What will the government pay you over the inflationary rate?
So both of you guys think that you can start buying it and just hold it?
No,
He's a trader.
I'm a trader. I have no allegiance to gold whatsoever. Sometimes you should own gold. Sometimes you should be shed of gold. Sometimes you need to own it. Sometimes you need not to own it. I care not a whit about gold. I'm not a gold bug under any circumstance.
But the hyperinflation story, which was so much driving the gold price up in it when it was going up, everybody was terrified of what the Federal Reserve was doing. It was going to produce incredible rampant inflation. You know, the Bank of England was doing the same thing. Bank of Japan went through another round of it. That just hasn't materialized, is it? In fact, you've got on the brink of deflation now in Europe. Japan is, struggling its way maybe just into some positive inflation.
We're talking about a flat yield
inflation
curve
rates falling in the US. I mean, that's gone, right, as a story? I mean,
short term. Short term, I believe it's gone. I think that's important in the past 3 years is that GDP per capita, which was accelerating, has slowed down. So that consumption of the love trade of GDP per capita, the correlation of China and India's GDP per capita rising the 45 is so correlated to the price of gold. And that's the factor you have to take a look at. In the 70s, the economic footprint of China and India was 2%. And the world only had 3 billion people. Now we have 7 billion people, and their global footprint is pushing 25%. And now the world's wired and hooked up from Facebook or any other type of social media, and they all want the American dream. So as their GDP rises, the consumption of gold for giving will continue. And we're seeing a major tectonic shift of physical gold leaving here and going to Asia and basically being distributed and accumulated.
All right, that I can actually understand.
Yeah.